The movie begins in Australia in the year 2053, a dark and hopeless future. The narrator explains that after the last war, crime has increased by more than 800%, filling the prisons beyond capacity. To deal with the problem, the government creates the Box Rehabilitation Program. This system gives prisoners two options: serve their time alone in a sealed box or choose instant death. Inside these boxes, food and water are only given if ordinary citizens decide the prisoners deserve it. Anyone caught trying to escape or help them is immediately executed. We then see a French woman trapped inside one of these boxes. She fights to survive without food or water. Eventually, the pain and hunger become unbearable. Losing hope, she finds a small razor blade hidden in a corner and cuts her own throat, ending her misery. Next, we see a rocky island surrounded by many of these prison boxes. Nearby, a little girl and a boy play with a rubber ball. The ball accidentally hits one of the boxes, waking up prisoner 371113 inside. She slowly opens her eyes to find her hands and feet tied with ropes. Panicking, she starts banging on the walls, begging to be released. Suddenly, a small screen lights up in front of her. A woman's face appears and tells her that she has been found guilty and sentenced to 7 years of rehabilitation with no chance of parole. She also explains that food and water will only be given if the citizens she betrayed choose to help her. The prisoner bursts into tears, shouting that she is innocent, but no one listens. The next day, she waves her food container, hoping someone will give her water, but nobody comes. She starts touching every corner of the box, trying to find a way out, but each time she touches the wall, she gets an electric shock. As the days go by, surviving becomes harder and harder. Meanwhile, in another box, a different prisoner, prisoner 13,558, tries to escape. While searching for a weak spot, she accidentally sets off an alarm. Red lights flash, and sharp metal rods suddenly drop from the ceiling, killing her instantly. The next morning, prisoner 371113 is awakened by a young woman outside her box. The woman gives her a few food pellets and some water. The prisoner pleads with her, saying she's innocent, but the woman replies that it's not up to her, only the citizens can decide whether she lives or dies. She adds that there have been many prisoners before her and there will be many after. Days pass. The prisoner eats the little food she has and waits for more. But loneliness and despair slowly consume her. One day, she feels completely hopeless. She finds a piece of rope on the floor and decides to end her life. She wraps it around her neck and starts pulling until she can barely breathe, but at the last second, she lets go, unable to finish. She breaks down crying, wondering what she did to deserve such a terrible fate. As time passes, prisoner 371113 slowly accepts her situation. One day, she manages to reach her hand outside and grab the rubber ball that once hit her box. Playing with it helps her pass the time. After a few weeks, a drone lifts her box and moves it to a new location, this time, deep inside a forest. In another box nearby, we meet a man known as prisoner 180102. He was sentenced to 5 years and has already served half of it. After 2.5 years in isolation, he has accepted his punishment. One morning, a girl wearing blue approaches prisoner 371113's box. She asks what she's doing there, and the prisoner answers that she's serving a 7-year sentence. The girl then starts a friendly conversation and asks if she has ever heard of William Shakespeare. When the prisoner says no, the girl offers her a book, but the prisoner refuses, explaining that she isn't allowed to have anything during her rehabilitation. The girl smiles and asks her to come closer. Before leaving, the girl gives her a small bag of food pellets and promises to come back again. After the girl leaves, the prisoner feels alive for the first time in a long while. The brief human connection stirs something inside her. Later, while eating, she finds a tiny hidden book inside her food bag, a copy of Shakespeare's work. Days go by. She carefully saves her water to wash her body and clean her wounds, but when she pours the dirty water out through the opening, the security camera catches it. Because wasting water is a violation, her box is immediately transported back to the seaside as punishment. Sometime later, the same girl returns to visit her. She asks what the prisoner did to end up here, but instead of answering, the prisoner asks how citizens decide who deserves food. The girl explains that she simply walks among the boxes, talks to the inmates, and gives food to as many as she can, though bad weather often stops her. As they talk, the prisoner tells her she reminds her of her younger sister, who died long ago. Now, her only comfort is the small Shakespeare book, which she reads in secret, hiding it from the camera. A few days later, a drone moves her box again to a new place. There, a cruel man approaches her. He mocks her by eating a fresh apple right in front of her while she watches in hunger. Desperate, she begs for a bite, but he laughs and says all prisoners deserve death. Then, he offers to give her the apple, but only if she lets him take advantage of her. Weak from starvation and without any hope, she reluctantly agrees. As the man exploits her, a patrolling drone spots the act and instantly opens fire, killing him on the spot. One of the bullets hits prisoner 371113 in the leg, and she screams in pain. Despite her injury, she drags herself to the man's body and grabs the apple. Starving, she eats it quickly, only to find it crawling with worms. Horrified, she vomits. That night, she is startled awake by a loud siren and a cold mechanical voice announcing that she has violated prison rules by trading for food. Her punishment: 7 days of forced insomnia, her first and final warning. The next week is pure torment. Every time she tries to close her eyes, bright lights and deafening alarms jolt her awake. Desperate to stay conscious, she bangs her head against the wall, leaving herself bruised and bleeding. Eventually, the exhaustion drives her to hallucinations, and she begins to see a queen-like figure who looks just like her. When the punishment finally ends, she collapses into sleep for days. Later, she wakes to the sound of fireworks and sees the night sky glowing with colors. The citizens are celebrating the new year. A voice announces a prisoner amnesty, but political convicts like her are excluded. Not long after, an elderly woman visits her box. She tells prisoner 371113 that she spent 15 years in confinement, which made her strong but bitter. Before leaving, the woman tosses a small, rusty razor blade toward her as a grim gift. Sometime later, the girl in blue returns, the one who loves Shakespeare. At first, prisoner 371113 thinks she's imagining her again, but the girl smiles and says she's real. She offers her a small flask of water and recites another passage from Shakespeare, calming her for a brief moment. Months pass. Prisoner 371113's belly swells. She is pregnant with the child of the man who gave her the apple. One night, the Shakespeare girl comes back and tries to free her, but before she can, the alarm sounds and she's forced to run. The next morning, a man claiming to be a citizen of mercy appears. He tells her he can end her suffering and shows her another prison box he has burned as an example. Horrified, she refuses his offer, choosing to live, no matter how painful it is. Months later, she goes into labor inside the box. The pain is unbearable, but when she finally holds her baby, she feels an overwhelming wave of love and relief. For a brief moment, she forgets everything: the box, the loneliness, the suffering. But soon, the system detects an unauthorized life form inside. An anesthetic gas fills the chamber, and she falls unconscious. When she wakes, her baby is gone. She screams and cries, but no one answers. Days later, a heavy storm hits. Waves crash against her box, flooding it with water. The system misreads the flooding as interference and issues a warning. If the anomaly isn't cleared, the prisoner will be exterminated. The countdown begins. As the water rises, she gasps for air. When the timer reaches 0, a drone descends to collect her for extermination, but lightning strikes, sending the entire box plunging into the sea. In the final scene, a few citizens walk along the coast after the storm. They notice a washed-up prison box lying on the sand. Inside is prisoner 371113, unconscious and barely breathing. The citizens glance at her, then turn away and continue walking, leaving her behind.